Jalen.
The Clippers can do whatever the hell they want, but I'm not going to trust them. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Before we get to Perry's "Who Hurt You" segment, quickly want to touch on something that happened with Kevin Durant. So the Nets are the favorite to win the East. I think we can all agree on that. Late last week, Kevin Durant said that he's all about self improvements. That he's not about winning championships. Do you believe his statement? And does this serve as a distraction to the Nets championship run? Perry, let's start with you quickly.
Not at all. If I have a player on my team who's committed to be the best player he can be, that means he's willing to diversify his game. He's willing to do what it takes to win. He's willing to improve the aspects that are weak. If I'm a coach and a player tells me like, "Hey, I want to reach the max of my potential," I know that means he's going to take charges. He's going to play defense. He's going to go for boards. He's going to make that extra pass. Why would it be? I think constant improvement is necessary for you to adapt, for you to thrive in today's NBA. The players who don't see it as that, and honestly, I think the best of the best at whatever they do, they view things differently. You look at Kyrie, you look at Kevin Durant. It doesn't look like, well, obviously Kevin Durant is a little different, but they're not primarily concerned with basketball. They look at the different facets of it. They look at the way they can just expand their game. Their game is more poetry. They're not viewing the game in the same lens as a regular player would. So for Kevin Durant, like winning isn't enough for him, and he said that. I think that was lost in translation for the quote. If I remember correctly, he said, "When I went to Golden State and I won my two, people told me a championship would make me happy, and it didn't. What makes me happy is being the best player I can become." When he explained his move from his transition from Oklahoma City to Golden State, he explained that he wanted to develop his game and the ability to move off the ball so that he could create less, so that he can rely on his teammates more, so he could figure out certain passes and improve that aspect of his game. So I know that a player who tells me they want to consistently improve is going to empty out the tank and give me everything that he has day in and day out over the course of a championship career. And I think that's the mindset that got him to where he is. I think that's the mindset that makes
Mm-hmm.
him the best player in the NBA, and that's the mindset that got him to average about 30 points coming off an Achilles
Yeah,
injury.
perfect. Um, Jalen, let's go with you next. What do you think about what Kevin Durant said?
can you repeat the quote for me?
He said that he doesn't care about championships and he's all about self improvements.
Adrian Wojnarowski and Shams Charania both said that he actively recruited LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, and James Harden to the Brooklyn Nets to better his game. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what
that
Katie said.
that makes no sense. It's great that he wants to better his game, and that's fantastic. But he's shown that he wants to win championships, or else he wouldn't have gone to Golden State. He could have
Mm-hmm.
developed his game somewhere else. He could have developed his game in San Antonio. He could have developed his game in
Oh
Boston.
man,
He could have developed his
could
game,
he ever?
a lot of other places. But he chose Golden State because
Oh,
he wanted the easiest route to a
Mokhtar
championship.
is dreaming about
And
San Antonio.
you see Perry has his head in his hands because it's the sad truth. Because it's the same dude that when he said Kevin Durant blew a 3-1 lead, his response was "It happens," like it was herpes. Um,
Man said like it was herpes. I just want to say that. Bro, I feel like there's a lot that you need to unpack with that one. What does that mean? This man said it happens, and he paused and said like it was herpes. So Jalen,
uh,
Yo, Jalen,
you're
Jalen, that
better
was
than that.
bars. Yo, Jalen, that was bars. Yo. Let me dap you right now.
I got
That
you. I
was
got you. Good
bars. That was
looks.
bars.
Good
Yo, you don't
looks.
gotta explain yourself.
Nah,
Yo.
bro.
Just proceed.
If
Just
you're gonna come for
proceed.
the king, you have to come a little harder than that, big dog. This man
Pause,
said
but
like it was.
yeah, but in all seriousness, I think this is a deflection and a because LeBron's very good at this. It's a deflection just in case the Brooklyn Nets don't win a championship, just in case the Brooklyn Nets aren't successful. It's a way of Kevin Durant to say, "Yeah, well, I was focused on being the best version of myself, being the best player that I can be." It's the same thing with Russell Westbrook saying that uh, I've already won a championship. This is just to take away from the fact that, and we had this conversation this morning, Perry. This is just take away from the fact that he might never win a championship. It's just a deflection, and it's just a way for him to deflect the blame in case in the event that he doesn't win a championship.
Mukhtar, what do you make of the statement?
I agree with JLo a lot. To say that you only focus on like working on your game instead of winning when you went to, you made sure Kyrie and DeAndre Jordan came with you. You made sure that they traded for James Harden. You made sure that Blake Griffin signed with you. You made sure LaMarcus Aldridge signed. Like you just, obviously those are winning moves. I think KD's just trolling the media. I think the media has toyed with KD for too long, and now it's time for him to toy with them. And he's pulling their strings. He's like, look, I can say this, and this could be a big story now. Like, I think at the end of the day, he's one of the great NBA players, and like Perry said, he's like a poet. They're trying to like advance their poetry, but like, at one point do you need to get better? Like KD is already KD. Like KD is already like the greatest scorer we've ever seen of all time. So I don't think there's much to get better for that in that aspect. I think he's trolling, and I think he's just toying with the media because they've toyed with him his whole career, and now it's his turn.
That's a very good point. I didn't even think of it like that. That's a very good point. It's time for